Donald Trump called it a witch hunt, a conspiracy by the deep state. The Robert Mueller investigation was tasked with looking into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election campaign. What do we now know about those caught up in the probe? And what is Putin's alleged playbook? Russian intelligence launches a coordinated campaign to influence US politics and undermine its institutions by spreading misinformation. US authorities later conclude the campaign was started at the direction of Vladimir Putin, the Russian president.
The highest art of warfare is not to fight at all, but to subvert anything of value in the country of your enemy, until such time that the perception of reality of your enemy is screwed up to such an extent that he does not perceive you as an enemy.
Donald Trump announces his candidacy for US president.
I think I'd get along very well with Vladimir Putin. I just think so. People would say, what do you mean? I think I'd get along well with him.
Mr. Trump signs a letter of intent with a Russian investor to build a Trump World Tower in Moscow. Michael Cohen, Mr. Trump's personal lawyer, speaks to an assistant to Dmitry Peskov, Mr. Putin's press secretary, outlining the tower plan and seeking government support.
It's not a crime to do business in Russia. It's not a crime to look into potential business opportunities in Russia. It's the changing story that has a lot of people just saying, why can't we get a straight explanation as to what, if any, business opportunities I was exploring?
Russian hackers start to disseminate thousands of emails stolen from the Democratic National Committee. The emails were published through fake online personas, such as the hacker Guccifer 2.0. The fake Twitter accounts were later linked to members of the GRU, Russia's military intelligence directorate. A trio of top Trump campaign officials, Don Jr., Jared Kushner, and Paul Manafort, met at Trump Tower in New York with a Russian lobbyist promising very high-level and sensitive information on Mrs. Clinton. Mr. Trump is confirmed as the Republican presidential nominee at the party's national convention in Cleveland. WikiLeaks publishes thousands of stolen DNC emails. Its anti-Clinton leaks continued throughout the remainder of the campaign. The Department of Homeland Security and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence issue a joint statement saying they are confident Russia was behind the campaign hacking. Mr. Trump wins a narrow election victory over Mrs. Clinton to become the 45th US president. Michael Flynn, Mr. Trump's former national security advisor, speaks with the then Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak in an attempt by Trump aides to open a back channel with Moscow before the president-elect's inauguration. Mr. Flynn will later be charged with lying to investigators about his contacts with Russian officials. James Comey is fired from his post as FBI chief by Donald Trump, prompting complaints that the president was seeking to obstruct justice.
The president has absolute authority to fire certain individuals, and the FBI director is one of them. What the president can't do, however, though, is to terminate anyone with a corrupt intent. And what that means, that's a legal term of art. What that means is there's some reason corruptly that the president is reaching in and taking some personnel action, in this case a termination, because he feels that that will either protect him from something, or it will intimidate someone, or it will silence someone.
Mr. Mueller indicts 13 Russian citizens and the Internet Research Agency, an online troll factory in St. Petersburg, for spreading disinformation in order to sow discord and erode faith in the US political system. Mr. Manafort is convicted of tax and bank fraud. He subsequently agrees to cooperate with the special counsel. Jeff Sessions, who had recused himself from the Russia probe because of his contacts with Russian nationals, is fired as Attorney General and is temporarily replaced by Matthew Whitaker, a critic of the Mueller investigation. Mr. Cohen pleads guilty to additional charges, saying he lied to Congress when he testified that the Moscow project had ended in January 2016 in order to minimize links between Mr. Trump's campaign and Russia. Roger Stone, Mr. Trump's longtime advisor, is charged on 7 counts for lying to investigators about his efforts to contact WikiLeaks as it sought to release hacked DNC emails. Mr. Cohen tells Congress the president is a con man and a cheat, but he says he has no evidence Mr. Trump colluded with Russia. What will come from the Mueller report? Will the full findings be made public? How will the president react? There are few questions of greater political consequence in Washington today.